So we got a great response on the first video of the 1944 where we dig it out of its garage where it sat for 50 years, 51 years since 1970. So now I'm actually starting to work on the car, doing some stuff to it so we can start hopefully get this thing back on the road. I'm hoping this year. So right now I just took the spark plugs out, and if you can believe, they actually all came out, none of them stripped out and none of them snapped off in the head, which is amazing. Also, I ordered a set of brand new bias ply tires, so like the original mold. So I'm using the original sizes that were on here. This actually has 15-inch wheels on it. And originally these cars came with 16, but a lot of hot rodders put the 15s on it, including this car. So I got the tire sizes off the tires, and I got the closest thing I could get, and so it's going to still look like it did back in probably the late 50s and early 60s. So just to show you what's going on, I actually got the battery out of it. I had to take the positive cable off of the solenoid. These cars were originally a positive ground. This one's actually got had a 12-volt battery in it, and it's a normal negative ground like you'd find in a later car. And this one's an old Sears Allstate battery, which has been in there forever, as you can see. I had to get that out so I could access the back plug there. All these came out. Actually, I cleaned out the rat poop as best I could, and sprayed some PB Blaster in there. If you look, they all came out without any issues, like they were installed a few weeks ago, and that's not too bad. You can look at the plugs, see they look like it was running when it was parked. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually take some Marble Mystery Oil, put it down the cylinders, and just let it sit there, because this engine's actually stuck. It won't turn by hand. I haven't tried to put a wrench on it, but tightened up the belt a little bit and try to turn it by hand, and there's no movement there. So that's definitely gonna be an issue. Hopefully it can be unstuck, and it'd be nice if I don't have to get it rebuilt, but I might. And this one actually has two Ford 59 carbs. Those are stuck as I knock one of the spark plugs onto the ground. So these are all stuck, so these are gonna have to be rebuilt as well. Obviously, anything that's been sitting this long. So here we go. All right, so a little update on the 1940 Ford. I've had the Marble Mystery Oil sitting down in the cylinders since Friday, and it's actually Tuesday now. Don't worry, I had the spark plugs in there. I just pulled them out for turning the engine over because it's got oil in there. You don't want to create a compression. So I've got a breaker bar on the crank. So now we're going to try to see if this thing will turn. Oh, we got turnage. So there we go. It's like the Marble Mystery Oil. Oh, and it's spitting out the cylinders. Ew, it's gonna be messy, but at least we got turnage on the crankage. So I think this thing was actually running when it was parked, because otherwise it wouldn't do that. So I'm gonna try to get this thing around a full revolution if I can. Get all the Marble Mystery Oil out of the cylinders as it continues to shoot. All right, we have a rotating Flathead Ford V8 motor now. So hopefully we'll be able to get this thing running. All right, so the motor is turning now, and it actually feels pretty good. It feels like it's turning pretty freely, like there's no spots where it's stopping. So next step, I'm gonna put the plugs back in it. I had to cut this hose to get the breaker bar down in there and be able to do a good swing on it. So trick is, when you're getting these things going, you got to put something down there like Marble Mystery Oil. I think some people use like transmission fluid. There's all sorts of things that people will put in there to get these things unstuck. But now that I know it's unstuck, we can kind of move on with it, knowing that it's hopefully still a good motor, or if it's not a good motor, hopefully it's something that can be rebuilt. Can't really find out why it's been parked. The coil wire was missing from the coil to the distributor, so I do know that, and also the radiator cap was off. So I don't know if this had an overheating problem, which a lot of these do, or if there's another reason why it was parked, or if it was just parked because the guy had a collection of cars. So that's a possibility too, that he bought it and just stashed it away because it was just one of his collection, and he just decided he couldn't do anything with it. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna probably clean out the interior and the trunk next. And I've found some artifacts in there already, which you'll see in a moment as soon as we get to that part of the video. Get all the rat poop out of it and see where we go. A couple people commented on the last video, which I had a feeling it was, I just didn't look it up, that this is a later Flathead. This is like a 49 to 53 Flathead, which had a larger displacement and higher horsepower, which a lot of the hot rodders put in these. So we're going to get to that here. Okay, so now it's Wednesday. Yesterday I actually got in here and vacuumed everything. I got the most of the rat turds out of here, as well as put baggies around the carburetors, and went ahead and after vacuuming out as much as I could, I went ahead and hosed everything off. So it's actually looking pretty clean now. So now the engine turns. I got to start ordering parts. I just ordered a set of carburetor kits for this. My friend suggested going to Stromberg's, but they're kind of pricey, so I'm going to see if I can get these working. Yeah, I'm going to have to order points, condenser, cap rotor, wires, pretty much everything, and then see what we can do with this engine, see if it turns with the starter and things like that. For right now, it's just going to sit here. I also cleaned out the interior, which I'm going to show you next. And coming around to the interior, I got all the carpet out of it, and it was disgusting. I mean, it was just completely covered in rat poop. So that's all gone. I got the glove box door. Now, I went ahead and did some penetrating oil, so that opens and closes now. Coming through here, I did find the floorboard for that side. I'm actually going to go into a little video here of all the artifacts I found in this car. You can see the floors are actually in pretty good shape. This seat came out, the passenger seat. Driver's seat's actually welded to this bar. This bar's welded to the car. This side, this side right here, the weld actually broke. So this was easy to get up, to get this up, to get the carpet out. So this obviously wasn't original. That was added when they put the bucket seats in, which are out of some like European sports car, maybe a British car. But the driver's side's actually welded to that bar, so I couldn't get it out. But I got at least all the rat stuff out of there. That had to come out because if I get this thing running and driving, and I drive it around like that, that dust is going to kick up, and that's actually very, very hazardous. So that had to come up, unfortunately. And I left the panel here for the back to cover up the rear, where would be the rear seat area. All right, the trunk actually came out really good. There's one spot down here. It is rotten there. It looks like it had maybe been hit at one time, and some body work was done to it. In fact, let me grab it. I found this fiberglass that was down in there. So definitely it had some body work done. This probably trapped the moisture in and probably made the rust bad. I'm guessing it was hit, and it was some repairs were done, which, I mean, as you can imagine, even when it was parked, it was a 30-year-old car. But I'm going to show some of the stuff I actually found. The trunk's actually in really good shape. The metal's all there and solid. Found a couple things of brake fluid. I'm guessing this must have had a problem with the master cylinder, one of the wheel cylinders leaking at one time. Old Diet Pepsi can from the 60s, and then just for you Coke guys, I actually found an old Coke bottle. So the owner of this car apparently liked both Coke and Pepsi. Oh, I just dropped that one. I found this mirror, which is, something tells me this is actually not from this car. I wonder why. But yeah, definitely off of like a 60s Chevrolet, not a 40 Ford. I found this old temperature gauge with the bulb. I don't want to bend it because I'm hoping this one's still good. So that's still there. It looks like it'll clean up. hoping it still works, because it'd be nice to reuse this, because this thing is old. It'd be cooler than running one off of that you get at Pet Boys these days. I found one of the air cleaners. Put that down. So only one of them's here. They do reproduce these, but obviously they're shiny chrome, so I'm probably just gonna have to buy a set just so they match, but keep one of the originals. It says Deluxe Auto Parts, but I don't know what was in the box. But I thought the box, that was kind of cool to find that. It's like some sort of a bracket, maybe went around the steering column, or possibly to mount a gauge. Some block off plate. It probably goes somewhere. Maybe it's for the master cylinder is what I'm guessing, for the floor. One of the original wipers. License plate block off. This is actually from a Cadillac, like a 50s Cadillac. So I don't know why that was here, unless he was running that on the front. I also found the original dipstick. The tube isn't there. I can't find the dipstick tube, but I did find the original dipstick, so I have that. I found a Coors bottle opener, America's Fine Light Beer. So I think that's pretty cool. I like stuff like that. And I also found this old fuel pump. See if I can get it in the light where you can see it better. It says Auto Pulse Factory Reconditioned Electric Fuel Pump. So, and it's taken apart, so I'm guessing it failed and then they took it off the car and shoved it under the seat. And actually I got contacted by a gentleman who says this used to be his car. And he's the one that actually traded it in to the guy that owned the car dealership, basically of the family that I bought the car from. He said he traded in 1970 on an MG Roadster. And he gave me some information. I'm going to invite him over to look at the car, because actually he doesn't live that far, and hopefully get an interview with him if he'll do it on camera, which he said he's not really good on camera, but he did say he was from Temple City. And then after I talked to him, I actually found this. Hopefully it'll come up. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Maybe it won't focus, but it actually says Temple City High Rams. So this pencil was in the car, so the car is definitely from Temple City. I said this gentleman I talked to, he said he was the previous owner of the car. He gave me some information, and obviously I'll hopefully have more of an interview with him. I can give you more information in a future video on the car. And the new tires are supposed to arrive today from Coker, so hopefully I'll be getting this car in the air and get the wheels and tires down to get the tires put on, and then we can move forward with this project. Okay, so that's it for the first week update on the 1940 Ford Deluxe Barn Find Coupe that I got. I've gotten a lot of interest, a lot of people asking about it. I'm not selling the car. This one's one I'm going to keep for myself and for my family to enjoy for years to come. Also, I'm hoping to be able to talk more to the guy that used to own the car. I talked to him for a little bit on the phone, and a lot of the stuff he says totally checks out with the car. So it looks very much like this was actually his old car, and that he traded this car in 1970 on an MG Roadster. So I'm hoping to get some more information. Apparently he didn't own the car for very long, but he was the guy who put the motor in it. So supposedly it has like a race motor. It was built by a noted race builder. But I'm going to have more information about stuff like that hopefully soon and in a future video. So if you like what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment about the 40 Ford or whatever, or tell me about one of your projects that you're working on during all this madness in the world. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.